Hello, guys. It's Sapphire Youngman with episode. Hold on, because that'll be episode 13. This will be but episode More Bad Than Good on Teen Wolf season 3B. So in this episode, we have Scott and Styles still trying to search for the warrior coyote, and we have Derek and Peter trying to get help from an unlikely source. Because as we seen in the previous episode, they would, kind of, tied up and being electrocuted. So we can start off with Derek and Peter. Derek and Peter Hale remain chained to fencing. Sparks fly from their bodies as electricity flows across the metal. We see this bearded guy, who indicates that the device that is controlling the electricity and explains that it is old and unreliable. He says sometimes they adjust it too high and the victims just die. Sometimes their bodies keep jumping even after their heart stops. Peter is pretty much still cracking jokes. I'm like, dude, this is not the time to be making fun. Claiming the appearance is a little high, the man is interrogating the pair, looking for the location of the loba, which is, Spanish for she-wolf. If you ever listen to Shakira, her song She-Wolf, but it's called La Loba. He threatens off to cut one of them in half with a chainsaw to get the other one to talk. He wonders aloud how their little healing trick goes. They are interrupted by an older woman who continues to question them in Spanish. So I'm like, really? Now I gotta sit here and read stuff like that. So she says to them in English. She asks them, "Where is the she-wolf?" And Derek responds, "No hablo español." Like, I don't speak, Spanish. Then she replies in English, in Spanish, "Tú hablas muchos idiomas." Translation: You speak a lot of language, Derek Hale. She calls Derek Lobito or Little Wolf and says that she knows that he won't talk but believes Peter will. She says Peter loves the sound of his own voice. He jokes that she should hear him sing, and then she cuts off his right finger and stabs the claw of the severed digit into the wooden floor. She says she only asks 9 more times and then leaves. So meaning 9 more times, that means she'll cut off 9 more of your fingers, and you better say something. So we have Scott still pursuing the were-coyote through the woods and runs into Styles, who leads him to the coyote's den. Inside, they find Maya Tate's clothes as well as some toys, and are convinced that she is the creature. Scott says by invading the den, they guarantee that Maya won't return because their sin is everywhere. Scott believes he could track her better if he could transform, but he says he can't due to his fear of losing control. He doesn't want to, turn into the alpha wolf that he knows he is, because of the fact that, they all going through the situation where they, if for Scott, he don't know if he could, turn back. And what is this freaking noise in the background? I hear this noise in the background. Okay, it's the website. So anyway, he says since Derek hasn't responded to his text, they have to find someone else to help. So saying that the den is a crime scene, they call in Sheriff Stilinski. So the sheriff is kind of in the, even though the fact that he now knows about this whole werewolf thing, he's kind of at the point where, like, he don't believe that this coyote could actually be a chick. He's like, okay, yeah. He's like, I kind of really don't believe that right now. I don't blame him though. You still getting used to, this whole werewolf supernatural thing going on. You find out your son's best friend is a werewolf, and his mama knows it, and then his ex-girlfriend is actually a wolf hunter. This is what they do. They hunt supernatural creatures. It's something. I mean, it's a lot to get used to. I will not lie. It's a lot to get used to. What is that noise? Like, seriously, I hate pop-ups. Okay with the pop-ups, though. So Scott and Styles pretty much figure out the scenario that maybe that the accident that killed the Tate family was actually caused by Maya transforming when her mom was driving. Maya would be pretty much upset, with guilt that she killed the family and ran off to the woods, and thus became trapped inside the body of the coyote. But this is all speculation on her part, and this is not a confirmed fact. The sheriff again, like, oh, talking about, okay, you guys are freaking the same. Scott then has a hallucination where he is transformed, where he transformed, has Maya laid over a rock and is about to slash her with his claws, foreshadowing his need to exert dominance over her later in the episode. Because he's an alpha wolf, that's his thing. He gotta be dominant, and right now she's not. To his wolf right now, she's not being obedient, and the wolf is like, okay, this broad needs to obey me. I'm the alpha up in here. I'm the alpha. That's how his wolf is feeling right now. He's not letting him free. The alpha is like, I need to be dominated right now. She's not obeying. She is not obeying. She keeps running from me. She needs to obey. Obey me. That's how his alpha is feeling right now. Obey me. I am the alpha. Obey me. That's how he's feeling. Like, obey me. Obey me. I'm the alpha. Anyway. All these freaking pop-ups. God, I hate them. So, Scott's dad, Mr. Agent McCall, God, I hate him. He shows up with Mr. Tate, and Mr. Tate is obviously angry and snaps at Scott. And snaps at no, not Tate. Scott, Mr. Scott. Oh crap, not Mr. Scott. Agent McCall is angry and snaps at Scott and says that he'll talk to his mom about letting him run around the woods tonight. I'm like, who is you? Who is you? Last time I checked, you and the mom ain't together no more, so you can't say nothing about Scott, because as far as I know, from season 1 to season 2 and season 3A, you ain't been in the picture, Negro, so you need to go. You can't tell Scott nothing. Get up out of here trying to be all daddy time, trying to be all father figure now. That time has come and gone. You is late. You is late. You is late. Get out. Trying to take away Sheriff Celesti's job. Get out. Get out. It's too late. Too late. Too late. Too late. Mr. Tate then confirms that some of the clothing found in the den belonged to Maya. Agent McCall then explains that why he brought Tate to the scene to gain confirmation. He also gets an insult about how Celeste can't close cases. Really? So Mr. Call says they should do a little digging and they are sure to uncover something. Celeste counters that the case is far more complicated and addresses him with a snide special agent. McCall then gives a quick lesson in grieving parents, saying that it's not knowing that ruins them, and that the truth, no matter how profoundly it sucks, is always better than not knowing. Maya then is seen running through the woods and comes out of an outcropping overlooking the lights of Beacon Hills. The moon is full. In class, Styles uses what appears to be a Samsung Galaxy Note. I don't know why they always got to give us a description on exactly what phone they're using. Product placement. Hate it. So anyway, he's using his phone to show Allison the location of Maya's den, and is at the convergence of several trails, which Addison says can narrow their search because coyotes travel on fixed trails. She also adds that Scott is right about her not going back to the inn because apparently coyotes don't like wolves. She also notes that they are really smart and they don't want to be heard. They can walk on their toes. So Styles says coyotes tiptoe. Addison's like, yeah. I'm like, who knew? I mean, I like the show. You learn about animal facts. See, it's very educational. So then the school bell sign rings, and here comes Kira. That's our new student, the little Asian girl. She's brimming with nervous energy, awkwardly approaching Scott, and she says that she done a couple of hours of research on Bardo and printed it out for him. She's unable to find the page in her book bag. Then her daddy comes and embarrasses her even more by saying, "Here, you forgot the research you printed out for the boy you like." Kira is mortified. Scott is kind of happy and a little excited, like, "Oh, she liked me. Hey, she liked me. Hey, she liked me. Hey." She liked it. And I'm just like, dude. I'm like, if you talking about the most embarrassing parent ever, I would say this girl's Mr. Yukamura is embarrassing like his mug. He embarrassed the girl from the class about she came back to school for a couple of weeks now. She didn't tell us about she having any friends or anybody over. I'm like, okay, and then she embarrassed her in front of Scott. I'm like, oh my god, dude, please don't do that. Like, if I had that ever happen to me, I would not probably go to school no more. I would avoid school. I would avoid school like the plague, okay? That's just embarrassing. And now, my thing is, though, with Scott and this girl, it's obviously she likes him and he likes her. But he always gets mad when Isaac tries to hit on Allison. I'm like, dude, you can't have it both ways. You can't have both Allison and Kira, okay? You can only have one. Just because you're the alpha wolf, you're the alpha wolf. Wolves only have one mate. You ain't a lion. You can't have 5 bras. You can't be in a polygamous marriage. You ain't a lion, bro. You a wolf. You're not a lion. You're a wolf. Deal with it. So, Miss Yagamura then starts class, and they're learning about the internment camps the government forced on Asian Americans into during World War II. That was the Japanese. I think they was all like California, because I remember learning about this. they figured that all these Asian Americans were spies for the Japanese, so they put them in camps. I'm like, really? So so Asians are just swimming across the freaking ocean to Japan, or any boats they came by. They just giving all the American secrets, really. Oh my God, you talking about paranoia during war? It's ridiculous. So he then called on Styles, but as Styles, his whole thing is that he can't never tell when he's dreaming and he's not. So when he gets up there, he can't read the words, so he starts panicking. So Scott has to get him out of there, and Scott has to get him to calm down because he's like freaking the freak out. I don't blame him. He's freaking out. So he's like, he thinks he's dreaming, so Scott assures him that he's not dreaming and gets him to count his fingers because apparently you have too many fingers in dream, and this calms Styles considerably because Scott has 10 fingers. He's like, whew, okay, I'm not dreaming. I'm like, it felt so bad for Styles. I'm like, oh, you just want to hug him? Like, calm down, Styles. It's okay. This is not Inception. So Scott, assures him that it will be okay, but Styles is not convinced. He then reminds his friend that he can't transform and Alice is being haunted by her dead aunt. As for himself, he said he is straight up losing his mind. He seems defeated, claiming that they are not up to the task of helping Maya or anyone else in their current condition, which is true. Because they're all being affected just in a different way. Scott's response is that they can try, they can always try. The bell ending class is now over. Mr. Yakamura reminds them to read the chapters on President Carter and the Commission on Wartime Relocation. Kira notices that Scott and Stas have yet to return and their book bags were left behind. So she decides, I'm going to be a nice person. I'm going to grab the books and give it to them, So she then goes down the hall and she then sees the were-coyote. So she freaks out. The creature attacks her. Kara ducks into the locker room where she drops the bags and hides from the angry beast. Maya comes crashing through the front frosted glass window and set in the door. Just as she's about to get caught, Scott shows up and pushes the lockers over onto the coyote. Maya flees and Scott notices Styles' book bag is ripped open. One vacant eye of a little girl doll is staring out the gap. So so we know why she's after them. She wants the freaking doll back. So we go back to Peter. Peter's silver hand continues to bleed. It looks like a macabre candlestick sticking out of the floor with blood running down like wax and pulling around the nail. Peter asks his captor if it would be possible to put his digit on ice or perhaps something for his hand and an extra large band-aid or some antibiotic ointment. Shadow moves above the torture chamber where we hear the sound of glass breaking. The guard readies his rifle and fires up into the stainless wood ceiling. Round after round is free and shot above two. We see a shell casing go through the gaps in the window. Then we see a woman's hand reach for the guard's gun and takes it from him, throws a punch. He uses the butt of the gun to pound him and send him sprawling. When she turns toward Derek and Peter, we see it is Brandon, the mysterious girl who saved Isaac in the episode Tattoo. That's the black chick. We all thought she was dead because I'm not pretty sure. I thought she was dead too because she pretty much had her throat freaking sliced. I'm like, I don't know how the heck you survive that. You get your throat cut open by a wolf. I'm pretty sure that means death. I'm just saying, that's what I learned so far in nursing. I mean, I didn't really train for doctor, but as far what I've seen from medical shows, that kind of injury is no. So, you kind of see the scars on her face and her neck from the fight with the Alpha Pack. So she explains that someone paid her to save Isaac and that Deucalion sent her to save Derek, but not Peter. And when she's asked why she would work for the man who scarred her face, she replies that girls gotta eat. Pretty much saying, yo, I gotta get paid, okay? I gotta get paid. This is what I do. Hey, money is money. What can you do? She then frees them both, and Peter grabs his finger from the floor, placing it against the stump. His healing ability reattaches the digit. I guess that kind of is useful to be a wolf, If you get your finger or something cut off, you just put it back to your arm and your heels up. It's like nothing ever happened. So Brandon's ready to leave, but Derek says we're not leaving without it, but doesn't explain what it might be. Animal control officers rush down the hallway at the high school. The sheriff says if Mahaleo hurts someone, they'll have to put it down. Sal quickly reminds him that they're talking about a her and not an it, meaning that it's a person and not an it. But obviously everybody Beacon Hills don't know that. So while he still believes in the supernatural, he doubts that the coyote is a girl and not an animal. Styles says he's 100% sure because Scott's sure. Scott is listening to them from the end of the hall as a demonstration of his friend's supernatural abilities. Styles turns to his father and whispers, "Scott, you've been listening." Scott now answers. Kira assures her father that, I'm fine, Dad, fine. I'm like, Dad, I'm fine. I didn't get hurt. The animal didn't touch me. I'm cool. Yeah. He wants to know why she wasn't heading to lunch with everyone else. I'm like, Dad, okay, Dad, you're being overprotective. You know, kind of, Daddy, please stop embarrassing me. Okay, God. So he pretty much wants to know why, what you was having lunch, whatever else. She said she was trying to return the boy's book back to do something nice. She said, saying that's how you make friends, or so I've heard. Cause you already embarrassed her talking about you don't got no friends coming to the house. Dad, really? Just saying, Dad. So Scott hears this exchange. I'm like, Scott, just ask the girl out already. Jesus. And leave Allison alone and let Isaac take her, okay? You can't have them both. You're not a lion, you're a wolf. Styles has figured out that Mahatma has figured out the where Coyote was pretty much looking for the doll in his backpack. As he shows it to Scott, Mr. Tate storms in, demanding to know where he got it. He says it belongs to his daughter. The sheriff then intervenes and realizes that Mr. Tate has a gun under his jacket. While he has a permit to carry the weapon, California schools are gun-free zones. Pretty much every school is a gun-free zone. Just because you have a permit, that don't mean you can come onto a school campus with a gun. We already have enough history of violence happening on school campuses. We don't need you bringing a gun. The only people allowed to bring a gun is the police. So, sir, please get off this campus with the freaking gun. Because all we need is you to get jumped by some freaking school bullies and they have the gun. That's all we need. That's all we need. So he leaves, demanding that the sheriff find that animal, that thing. Allison then retrieves a tranquilizer gun from her apartment and texts Scott that she's got it. At the Beacon Hills Animal Clinic, Scott, Styles, and Isaac seek out the help of Dr. Deaton. The vet then provides him with 3 vials of this horse tranquilizer. He then says that for a were-coyote, it should work in seconds, but he only has 3 vials, so who is ever handling the tranquilizer gun needs to be a damn good shot. Scott says Allison is perfect shot, but Isaac says she used to be, having witnessed her inability to hit the target last episode because she almost killed her best friend. Isaac also points out that they may not be able to find the thing. Styles, tired of Isaac's negativity, asks what's the point of him. He also questions what's up with the scarf anyway. It's 65 degrees out. Isaac is under chair asking the most difficult question about how do we turn a coyote back into a girl when she hasn't been a girl for 8 years? Which is true. I mean, how you turn a person who has pretty much been living as pretty much an animal for 8 freaking years. You turn her back into a person, everything gonna be a whole new world to her. It's gonna be a whole new freaking world. So what Scott says he can do it by pointing out that Peter once forced him to transform using just his voice, and that Deucalion did the same thing. As alpha wolves, they force, compliance. Like obey me, and the wolves just be like, okay, I'm a transform. Dang, you don't have to yell. Okay. So Deaton questions if werewolf abilities can work on a were-coyote, given the fact they're like 2 different species. They're both weres, but you're talking about a wolf and a coyote, 2 different species. So Scott says he tried to call Derek, but he has no idea, how to, ask him how to do it. So knowing that they need a real alpha, Styles suggests the twins. Dean points out that the twins are no longer alphas because Jennifer broke that part of them. Believing they still may know how to do it, they decided to seek him out. So Scott believes no one has seen the pair in weeks, but Styles knows Lydia is still in contact with Aiden. I'm pretty sure because they were sleeping with each other. Last time I checked. So Scott, Lydia, and Styles arrive at Derek's law. The twins then attack Scott, saying that this is how they need him to, he needs to lose control and give it to the beast. And they say that the monster doesn't make you the bad guy as long as you control it. Scott then questions what would happen if he can't control it, and it's told by Ethan that it takes over. You become Maya, and you get further and further from being human. You turn into an animal or worse. Aiden says you turn into Peter. And then Scott gets a flashback until the episode, into the creature that Peter had became in season 1. So Scott then rushes Aiden, but the former alpha flips him onto the table and begins pounding his face in. His brother steps in to stop him. Scott's face is covered in blood. At the Tate farm, Mr. Tate is testing a bear trap. He pushes a piece of firewood into the trigger, and the sharpened jaw snaps shut. So we see what he's doing. He's all in the distraught mode, which is really never good. Anytime a human being is very distraught, it's best that you not give them the weapons. No sort of weapons whatsoever. It's not a good thing. So we have Allison trying to learn to load the syringe with the tranquilizer because they're getting ready the hunt. She's also Isaac's also there at her apartment. So she drops the bottle and bends down to pick it up, and then she finds herself in a flashback where she finds herself in Beacon Hills Hospital morgue. and she finds out that she's actually the patient on this table, and then her aunt, Kate Argent, is doing an autopsy on her, and then her chest is open, her organs are all visible. Kate removes the heart, saying there's something definitely wrong with it, then throws it aside, and then all the doctors turn to werewolves and begin eating Allison's entrails. Allison then snaps back into reality and is pointing a tranquilizer gun at Isaac. She apologizes, and Isaac holds her hand and helps her to load the syringe. Styles' Jeep, Scott's dirt bike, and Allison's car arrive at Beacon Hills Preserve. Lydia asks if they might be able to doing more harm than good. Scott says they're helping make sure a man doesn't kill his daughter. Cause that would be real bad if he kills a wolf and then she automatically transforms back to a person. That would mess your head up worse. Cause one, you would be shocked that, oh my god, this wolf this coyote just turned to a person, and then even worse when you find out that coyote is actually your daughter, and then you're like, oh my god, I just killed my own kid. So they all head out to the woods. Scott, Allison and Isaac head off to find her. So everybody's in the woods trying to, find this girl. Meanwhile, Sheriff Stilinski throws a bear trap on Tate's kitchen table and says a jogger found it in the woods. Turns out Tate has set up dozens of such traps. He then realizes that his screen door has been torn open, believing that the coyote is in the house. Tate grabs his shotgun and goes after it. They spot the coyote sitting in the yard with a doll from Styles' backpack sitting under it. Tate gets a shot at the animal before the sheriff can stop him. Hearing the gunfire, Scott then takes off on his bike toward the shot. So then, as everybody's Styles is trying to work out the doll is key. He first saw it in the picture in Maria's room. Her sister was holding it in the picture, and Styles realized that Maya had placed the doll in the car's wreckage as one might leave flowers on a grave. They removed the doll from the grave, and Maya's been trying to return it. Like, she's trying to, keep, to her that's her flowers. As her sister's dead, she's trying to keep, it's like a memorial thingy. So then Isaac steps in one of Tate's traps and howls in pain. The cry from the beta is strong enough and loud enough in Scott's ears to knock him off his motorbike. Allison then catches up to Isaac, who urges her to take the shot and tranquilize Tate before the man can shoot the coyote. Alice's first shot hits a tree. Isaac then calls him down. She takes a deep breath. She says the new Argent motto in French, which I'm not even going to try to pronounce French because I never took French in school. So the motto is, we protect those who cannot protect themselves. And fires the shot, striking Tate in the shoulder. He drops to the ground and Maya runs off. Styles tries to reach Scott on the cell, but he gets voicemail. He leaves a message explaining the doll thing. Meanwhile, he turns back to see Lydia has stepped on one of Tate's bear traps. The only reason it has a snap closed is that she is holding the trigger down with a foot. If she tries to step off it, it would pretty much clamp on her leg. So she then tells Styles to look for a disarm instruction, and he can't read it, and she's So she then, tells them to forget the instructions, pretty much forget the instructions, that if anyone can figure it out, it's Styles, because that's what he does. He's pretty much, he figures stuff out. That's what he does in this group. This is why he's important. He's the brain of the group. So after a few minutes studying the mechanism, Styles discovers a lost screw that tightens the spring. By twisting it, he can delay the closing of the trap. He does, and Lydia steps away just in time. Scott allows himself to wolf out while chasing Maya. His eyes glow red, and he leaps across the ravine that holds the Tate's wrecked car. He lands in front of the coyote. The animal growls at him, but he growls back, using his werewolf voice that carries so far and with such force that Isaac's eyes begin to glow, and he rips the trap from his leg. Styles hears the roar as well and says, "That's what I'm talking about." The were-coyote then turns into a very pretty girl. The sheriff then returns Maya to her father, and sitting in the sheriff's SUV, Styles realizes he can read again. At the sheriff's office, FBI agents, including McCall, tote out box after box of files. The sheriff slams the doors after them. Peter, Brendan, and Derek in a mansion. They find a chest made from a rolling tree or mountain ash. Derek tries to touch it, but his hand is repelled by the wood. Okay, hold on, Queenie. Brendan kicks off the lock and opens the chest. It is filled with mountain ash dust. Brendan reaches in and removes a carved cylinder with a triple spiral pattern on top. In the woods at the Nematon, a gloved figure approaches, and noticing a small spring of green is growing out of the top of the stump. Rips away the fresh growth and casts it on the ground. The figure turns and walks away. From the crack where the little green sprig had been sprouting, a firefly emerges and is followed by dozens, then hundreds more. The bug swarms begin to take on three distinctively humanoid shapes. So, That was episode 12 of season 3B of Teen Wolf, titled More Bad Than Good. So they got the girl to transform into a human. Scott can read, Styles can read again. Scott is also flirting with Kira, and Kira flirting with him, and Daddy's still embarrassing her. Isaac and Allison is coming closer. I'm like, about time. I just wish Scott would just let her go. Like, let her go. Let her go. And Agent McCall, of course, is being the worst daddy of the year. So that's all for Teen Wolf. Tonight's episode will be titled Galvanize. And it'll be tonight. So, guys, comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you next time. And I will try to make these Teen Wolf reviews a little bit shorter. Because right now I'm at 20, almost 30 minutes. So I'm going to try to make these shorter. So just comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Teen Wolf review of Galvanize. Bye.